How can you get your dreadlocks to grow fast and to stop being frizzy? Hey, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to an episode of Greatlocs. I'm Jonathan the Great. Today we're going to be answering your questions. Hey, how can I get my locks to grow fast and when will they stop being puffy at the ends? In order for your dreadlocks to start growing faster, you have to start being more minimal with what you do with them. So there's not any products you can put into your hair to make your hair grow faster. There's nothing you can do to make your hair grow faster. But there are a lot of things you can do to stunt the growth of your hair. If you're using too many products on your hair, it won't grow as fast. If you're not washing your hair regularly, it's not going to grow as fast. If you end up bleaching and dyeing the hair, it won't grow as fast because it's going to be breaking off the tips. And a great tip for you guys, don't bleach and dye your hair if you want it to grow faster. If you completely bleach your locks, all the bleached hair is going to eventually fall out regardless. So it's not what you have to start doing to make your hair grow faster, it's what you have to stop doing in order for your hair to grow properly. Now when it comes to puffiness or frizz, you can maintain that by using a crochet hook or even palm rolling. And a crochet hook is actually the best tool you can use on your dreadlocks for any hair type, whether you're starting them out or maintaining them. A link to that tool is down below. I know it depends on the hair type, but when do dreads stop shrinking? And it really doesn't depend on hair type. It depends on how mature your locks become. The dreadlocks will stop shrinking once your dreadlocks are fully mature. So say you did instant locks with straight hair, if you instantly locked them up and completely matured them, they won't shrink at all. But say on the other hand, you did a twisting with gel method on a 4C hair type, it's going to continue to shrink until it's fully mature, which is about 6 months. But if you still feel that your locks are soft, they're going to continue to shrink until all of it hardens up. So it's not so much based on a time frame, it's more based on maturity. And if you want to speed up the maturing process, you can do it by using tools like the crochet hook or even just palm rolling the hair. And one of the biggest things that are underestimated is doing hairstyles. Two-strand twist is probably the best thing you can do in order to make your hair mature quicker. Hey Greatlocs, is there any way you can help me get dreads by any chance? And realistically, that's why I make these videos, so I can help you guys out. But if you want to know more in depth on how to get locks yourself or even become a loctician to get paid to do it, you can join one of my classes that are linked down below. And I will personally teach you how to do dreadlocks like a pro, either on yourself or on others. So yes, those are the ways that I can help you get locks. Do you have any tips on frizz? And yeah, your hair is somewhat frizzy, but for the most part, it's quite mature and it looks really good. But how do you eliminate all of your frizz? There are two things that really will eliminate all the frizz. The best way to eliminate all of your frizz is to use a crochet hook. All you have to do is go through the lock with the tip of the crochet hook, grab the frizz from the other side and pull it through. And you just continue that process until all the frizz is pulled into that lock. Now doing it this way is very tedious, but it's also very simple. But if you take your time and actually go through and pull all that frizz in, it will be eliminated. Now other ways to eliminate frizz, which actually takes a little bit longer, would to be doing hairstyles like two-strand twist or cornrows or box braids, or you can simply do palm rolling, which is actually very effective, but at the same time takes a little bit of time. Bro, I've been following your channel since you had your first set of locks, even though I don't have them myself. Gonna start this week, but I have quite a decent amount of hair on my head from over a year, maybe 2 years of growth. Can I still use a sponge or is it a bit too long? I would say that there's a sweet spot in using the sponge. And yeah, you've been growing your hair for 2 years, you're gonna have very long hair and probably even around a foot of length if you've been growing it for 2 years. Because hair on average grows about ½ an inch a month, which leaves you at 6 inches a year, which at 2 years would be 12 inches. And that's of course if you're not stunting the growth, which how I explained in the first question. So yeah, your hair is probably a little too long. You can of course try it. I've heard people say that they have got locks using a sponge with long hair, but using the sponge is mostly effective with shorter hair around 2 to 4 inches. And look at it this way, the holes on the sponge are about 2 inches deep, if that. If your hair is longer than 2 inches, it's not going to want to go into those holes because the whole purpose of the sponge is for the hair to go into the holes and then create sections using those holes. But if you've been growing your hair for around 2 years, I would just recommend sectioning out your hair and then choosing a method from there. So if you want to do instant dreadlocks, then you can do the instant method. If you want to go traditional, then you can do twisting with gel. Can you get dreadlocks in any form, or is there a certain haircut you would recommend for a starter? Yeah, you can start dreadlocks with any haircut or any hairstyle you would like. But from personal experience, I would recommend all of you guys, if you want to start dreadlocks, do it with the full set of hair. I know a lot of people like to do the high top fade, but I feel like majority of the people that have a high top fade and then get locks eventually regret it and want a full set of locks. I myself was one of those people, that's why I have a full set of locks now. I know Jimmy Got Soul did the same thing and wanted a full set of locks, and also Activerse did the same thing, and he's actually in the process of combing out his hair right now in order to actually get dreadlocks on the back of his head as well. Because the benefit of starting a full set of locks is if you don't want it anymore, you can always get a high top fade later or a taper fade or any other haircut you would like. So for a starter, I would recommend doing a full set and then go from there. Hey Gunther, I just combed out out my dreads and I was wondering if you would happen to know the best way to get my hair back to its natural form before the dreads. So there's a few things that you face with combing out your dreadlocks. You're gonna face a lot of breakage at the tips, so your hair is gonna be a little bit more thin. And the second thing you're gonna face is that your hair type seems that it's different. So how do you revert it back to where it was before? The best way to get rid of all the thin hair is to trim your hair from the tips all the way down to the thick hair. And that might be 2 inches, maybe even more, could even be less. But if you do want to get rid of all those thin spots, it would be to trim the hair. Now, in order to get your hair back to its normal curl pattern would be to not brush through it or comb through it for a while and just allow it to wash and then run your fingers through it. That's what I did when I combed out my first set of dreadlocks, and my hair type returned back just as normal. Now, if you ever bleached or dyed your dreadlocks, then your hair type is going to be a little different because you actually altered the hair. But if you didn't, then you should be completely fine. How do I get my locks longer? There's 2 ways of doing this. Being patient and allowing your hair to grow, which is more of the boring route, and it's probably not going to answer your question properly. And the second way, which is more instant, would be to use dreadlock extensions. And you can simply just order dreadlock extensions or braiding hair and then just crochet hook it into your hair. And you want to make it look as natural as possible, so you want to crochet hook it to the best of your ability. I actually did a video recently on a main channel to where I combed out one of my locks. It was this one right here, and then installed all the dead hair that came out of the lock at the tip of the lock. And this is actually my longest dreadlock right there. And you can obviously kind of see where the hair kind of looks different, but still there. But those are really the ways in order to make your dreadlocks longer instantly. Why are the locks on the back of my head way smaller than the rest? I feel like they don't even grow. I feel like a lot of people face this problem, and the real reason is because you lay on the back of your head, which then mats your hair quicker. So it's not that they're not growing, it's that they're maturing a lot faster. And the best way to deal with that is to pull your hair up while you're sleeping, because this gives all of your locks the fair advantage because all of them are being pulled up instead of the back getting most of the attention while you're sleeping. One thing that I do when I'm sleeping is I make sure that all of my hair is pushed up before I lay down, because I don't want all of my hair being matted down backwards. But do everything you can in order to make all of your dreadlocks get the same amount of attention so that they mature at the same time. So if you have to cover your hair at night, then do that. If you have to pull your hair up at night, do that. If you have to simply just push your hair up and then lay down, then do that. But you want all of your hair to get the same amount of attention. If you guys need any dreadlock tools or products, make sure to click the link down below and get the tools you need in order to get the locks that you want.